Hello everyone, welcome to the Business for Home virtual event. I'd like to thank Ted for having me on today and giving me the opportunity to speak with you all. So I was given the topic of becoming fearless. Fear is something that I've had to conquer in my own life, and it's something that needs reconquering as new challenges always emerge. Fear takes on many forms though. When you think of what fear looks like in your life, you may think it's the butterflies in your stomach before turning on your camera to go live, the courage to call a prospect or reconnect with an old friend that you'd like to try to get into your business. But fear takes on the form of indecision, doubt, and worry. You may have deeper fears, though, that feel really real, like not being able to feed your family or provide the basic necessities for those you love. That was my fear I had when I decided to quit my job and go full-time in the network marketing industry before I had even earned my first commission check. My mentor told me if I wanted to succeed in network marketing, I had to quit my job and go all in. This was terrifying. My two older sons were 8 and 4 years old at the time. Although I was struggling financially, I had just enough to get by. I had just enough to not fully go after my dreams. I was far from living my dream life, but I was so used to my own limitations that I was unsure if I could actually achieve it. The only evidence thus far in my life was that I couldn't. Fear took on the forms of rationalizing my excuses. You have 2 kids to take care of. You don't have the luxury to go chase wild ideas. You need to do something that is safe and secure that will provide guaranteed income. I thought it. My parents confirmed it. I didn't bother telling my friends because I was so nervous about it, which is a very hard way to build a network marketing business, I might add. To me then, a job meant security. Staying still meant safety. As long as I had a job and contained my wild ideas, I could be partially happy. And maybe that was enough. But it wasn't. I didn't want to just get by. I didn't want to just settle for safety. I didn't want to only just be able to feed my kids. And not the greatest meals back then either. I didn't want to rack up more debt just to buy the necessities. I didn't want to listen to the voice of reason in my head, which turned out to be the voice of fear. Deep down, I wanted to believe that I could go for it. I wanted to live in abundance, not learn to be comfortable with poverty. I wanted to pay cash for things, I wanted to send my kids to the best schools. I wanted to show them how to achieve their dreams so that I could teach them. That became less selfish to me the more I allowed myself to dream and have faith. So I had to train my mind to see things differently. Fear, some say, is an illusion, but what it really is, it's an unwanted emotion that can be altered by your perception. A pivot in your perception allows you to take action to beat fear. Let me show you. My son Troy, who was 4 then, he's 10 years old now. On his 10th birthday, we let him jump off the balcony into our pool, a rite of passage, if you will, in our house. He was so excited leading up to the moment. In fact, he bragged to all his friends when he was 9 that next year he was going to jump off the balcony. This moment finally arrived. He was 10 years old, and now his moment was here to take action. Much like many of us, we watch a motivational speaker, we get excited, but by the time we get back home and back into our old environment, the excitement wears off, reality sets in, and instead of jumping towards our destination, we fall back. We shrink. We let doubt tell us it's not going to work. We let fear tell us, what if? What if we fail? What if we look stupid? What if we are disappointing to other people? Or what if it doesn't work out? So his big moment arrived, and he was finally standing there, getting ready to jump. But suddenly he couldn't. He was paralyzed. There was a gate at the top of the balcony that opens to the pool below, and as he wrestled with the fear in his mind, he kept opening and closing the gate over and over. He stood up there for a long time. He stood up there for what seemed like almost 20 minutes. First, he told us all the reasons that he couldn't jump. I can't do it. It's too far. What if I don't do it right? What if I hurt myself? What if? Meanwhile, his older brother, Evan, who had already conquered this particular fear, kept running up to the balcony and jumping off over and over right in front of him, just to show his little brother how easy it was. In his mind, this was not a fear, but a thrill. In Troy's mind, though, it was fear. It is interesting how fear manifests differently for each of us. Troy stood up there while we all waited in the pool below, and at first we tried to cheer him on. You can do it. You got this. Just jump. This didn't work. So we tried to fear of loss him instead. It's okay, Troy. Just calm down. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you're right. You can't do it. Go ahead, quit. You don't need this experience. Just go back to how things were before. Just forget about it. You could tell he was really wrestling with this. He went from having the fear of jumping, going all in, and then we just added in another fear, the fear of failure. So now in his mind, he was thinking, do I want to risk jumping in and risking my life, or do I want to not risk and miss out on this potential exhilarating experience that can be now shared with his brother? He wasn't a fan of these options and continued to try to work it out in his head. Another 15 minutes passes. Then I intervene again. Troy, if the house was on fire behind you and your only option was to jump forward into the pool, would you hesitate to jump? No, he said, then added, but the house isn't on fire. I said, yes, but how come in one scenario you can jump and the other you can't? These scenarios only exist in your mind. So then you could imagine that this is your only option and going back down the stairs is not. A few moments later, he jumps. He screamed with excitement and he was so proud of his accomplishment. In fact, he ran up to the balcony another 200 times, uncounted, and jumped effortlessly. He conquered his fear, and the reward was the experience. When I got into the network marketing industry, I was afraid to jump. I was afraid to look stupid. I was afraid to be rejected and told no. I was afraid to fail. I was afraid to risk and lose. I was even afraid to succeed until it was my only option. I say I was comfortable, but what I really mean is I was about a month away from financial ruin and barely keeping things afloat. I was sinking fast. My expenses exceeded my income and I had no way of surviving long term. My house was burning behind me. It just hadn't got to the room I was standing in yet. So I had this illusion that I was safe when I really wasn't. Some of you are falsely comfortable because you refuse to see that the path that you're on now is the path that's not going to lead to your goals. Eventually, there will be a fork in the road. A decision will have to be made. You have to jump or burn. If you want to be truly safe, you have to first be in control of your life. You can't be in control of your life while still working for someone else. Entrepreneurship is the path that leads to financial freedom. It's also the path that will rip you from your comfort zone and challenge you every step of the way. Embrace it. To be given the gift of living your wildest dreams, you must be willing to jump towards them despite the fear. I jumped into network marketing before I was really ready. I don't think that there's ever a time that we're ever just completely ready, no matter how much we prepare. I had fear when I joined. I had fear that my sales weren't going to last when I was crushing it. I had fear when my team members started to quit. I had fear when I had only a vision to sell and no proof of its existence. Fear is an emotion now. So is faith, hope, promise, and purpose. You have to have something inside that's bigger than fear in order to conquer it. More than I had fear, I had faith. I feared losing everything until I lost everything. When I arrived face to face with my deepest fear, I realized it wasn't that bad. Without the fear in the way, I was able to plan a new life and take a new path. Shortly after diving into the network marketing industry, I filed for bankruptcy. The comfort zone I had worked so hard to maintain was now non-existent. I was exposed in a scary world with no blanket of false protection to keep me safe. I embraced it. From rock bottom, I had nothing left to fear. When you've sunk to the bottom, the only place left to go is up. I shifted my perception from a fear-focused challenge avoider to a fiery, faith-driven risk-taker. We live in a world now that sells fear. 2020 could be named as the year of fear for many of us. From a worldwide pandemic to lockdowns and forced quarantines, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. But here, in network marketing, there's a promise of paradise. What you give your attention to will grow. Your awareness is your creative life force. This is why the media and the entertainment industries work so hard to distract us. If we are distracted with their narratives, we won't have time to pursue our goals. If we don't pursue our goals, we never take back our power. We give it to them. We continue to give it away to those who understand this, those who govern our world. What's left unsaid is this. This is what they don't want you to know. The world is overabundant. There are opportunities everywhere. The mental prisons we find ourselves in, locked up by fear and uncertainty, are of our own creation. Those in control of society's narrative simply put the ideas in front of us, in front of our subconscious minds, so that we think the world is real and that their fear is real too. How I conquered fear was simple and anyone can do it. You can do it right now and you can change your life forever. Our conscious thoughts are programmed by our subconsciousness. Our subconscious mind records and remembers everything. Our conscious mind takes orders from it without even realizing it. In order to change your conscious thoughts that create your emotions and your actions, we must first tackle the subconscious mind. Step 1, take inventory of all that's entering your mind. From the TV to the radio to your colleagues, your family members, your friends, all their opinions, whatever you are listening to, watching, or being influenced by, notice it and become aware of it. Step 2, categorize all that's going into your mind into 2 categories. Positive, things that move you towards your goals, and negative, things that take you further from them. Step 3, cancel out all the negative influences. Anything that makes you feel down, uninspired, defeated, hopeless, delete them from your awareness. Do not give in to the temptation to feel negative. Anybody can do that. Choose to tune out. Turn off this programming. It is not your own. Step 4, fill your mind with only influences that support your goals. Positive people, podcasts, books, all that support the evidence that your goals are not only possible, but they're achievable too. Step 5, mind maintenance. At first, your mind's going to be cluttered and overran with weeds that are unwanted. Lots of false programming, lots of doubt and fear and worry. These are all seedlings of doubt, worry, and potential negative creation. You need to go in and dig these seeds up before they grow into trees that bear rotten fruit. You must maintain this garden every day. Personal development is how you maintain this garden. Even a day without maintenance invites the weeds and worry to creep back in. Here's my final thoughts. I didn't become who I am today, a top income earner in network marketing, by allowing the default setting of fear and negativity to grow. In fact, that's the easiest thing anybody can do, and the least rewarding. Watching weeds grow in our mind takes no effort. Succumbing to fear also takes no effort. The work is in shutting the fear, doubt, and negativity down when it crops up. Rewriting the programming in our minds so that we can choose a different story. We all have what it takes to conquer fear, but it takes a conscious effort to practice becoming fearless. So I say to you, be fearless.